So hello and welcome to this video. I know I can't able to upload two videos tomorrow. It's kind of sad that I can't able to do it, but today let's start the third chapter, which is the network based attacks. And this video may be a little bit longer, so let's just start it. So the first thing you have to understand that we have to know about the network attacks, which are the network attacks and how can we do it. First of the things, you have to know the exploit resources. The first thing you can see here is the exploit database, or exploit DB is the most important website in which will come handy. If you open a new tab in Kali machine, if you're using a Kali machine, so if you open a new tab in Firefox, you will see that there is already a bookmarked version of exploit DB. So if you go there, I can't go there because of my internet connection. It's a little low. I don't know why it's not working, but yeah, you will find various types of exploits there. So that is actually pretty important and pretty good. First thing, and the second thing would be packet storm is also a maintained database in which you will find exploits. Exploit DB and packet storm did the most of the similar things, actually uploads and saves the public exploits, okay, that are actually available, that saves in the database, okay, or exploit DB website. There are exploit chaining, like practice of combining exploits in a sequence that increases the probability of success. Like if you use a lot of exploits and understand the factors behind it, you will get and compromise a particular system more easily than any other things. Like there is always maybe if you find a good vulnerability, then there's different thing. But if you are using pre-existed vulnerabilities, then you have to know about exploits a lot. Okay, understand a little bit of things will be going to be helpful anyway. Okay, so then there comes the password attack, the brute force, the dictionary attack. Basically, like there is password spraying, which is attempt to use list of insecure password against many accounts. Means basically using a lot of accounts and using a particular playlist, or sorry, password list, and using it accordingly in that various type of accounts. So that would be called password spraying. Then comes the brute force. Brute force is actually, I already told that in the Hydra video or previous video. If you didn't check it out, just check it out, and I'm surely telling you, you will understand a lot of things. Okay, the next come the dictionary attack, means saving a word list in which there is a lot of passwords. You can actually use that particular password list to using brute force attack. You can use that particular text password list that will going to help anyway. So this is the first section. Then there is the network based exploits. In the next network based exploits, there are a lot of things. You don't have to remember this, but you can actually, one assignment you can do is search each by each and learn a little bit about them. But there are a lot of things like NetBIOS named NBNS, part of NetBIOS over TCP, similar functionality of DNS. The NetBIOS thing, I guess I can understand. It's like more of, if you give a particular name, it's a reverse of DNS somehow. Okay, then link local multicast name system. Okay, it's a DNS packet format. So these are the things actually going to helpful for the understanding of DNS and ARP spoofing, or DNS and ARP poisoning, which is the third point. Okay, if you want to know about the DNS and ARP spoofing, it is basically in a man in the middle attack. If you don't have any idea what I'm talking, so let's just understand what is DNS first. Okay, if you understand what is DNS, it's basically what can I say? Like if you type a name, okay, let's just go to facebook.com. If you type the facebook.com, okay, right here, if you type a facebook.com, so how do you know what happened in behind is that the facebook.com actually translated into a IP address, like whatever there is an IP address of it. Okay, like there is an IP address, so the facebook.com actually translated to a IP address, and this particular translation does by the DNS. Okay, and how does the DNS works? Basically, if you type the facebook.com, it goes to your internet service provider, and in that internet service provider, it provides you a DNS system or DNS server. What happens was, you directly, if you enter this, according to your internet service provider, the DNS server actually provides you a particular IP address, and that IP address assigns to the facebook.com, and after that you can access the facebook.com. So that's why sometimes when our website is blocked, it was by the DNS server, in which the if the website is not listed, it will gonna ban. Okay, so that you have to understand. What happened when you were doing a DNS and ARP spoofing was actually hacking that particular DNS server, and using your man in the middle, using a man in the middle attack. If you were creating your own server, or the requests are coming to you as a attacker, not a, like if you are a victim, then it goes to the attacker, and the attacker gives you a false IP, a phishing page. If the attacker is set up a server, then he can actually send the phishing page, and you will definitely not going to know that if you are actually signing up to the real Facebook or not, because if your DNS is actually hacked. So how to avoid it? Basically, to avoid it, pretty simple. Just use the websites which have the HTTPS. This particular S, if you sign up, understand, this S is going to be pretty helpful. This S is refers to the SSL, which means it this has a certificate, which means that this is a secure website. Okay, then comes the SMB, which is the server message block. It's a you will understand it pretty better after exploiting these type of things, because this is pretty important anyway. Okay, like it has a really cool exploit named SMB Eternal Blue. You will definitely encounter Eternal Blue in your life, that's for sure. But it's comes under the Active Directory attacking system, so it's a little bit understanding, you have to do it. So it, what it does, SMB, what it is, SMB is a protocol. Okay, so like using the SSH, or the there is FTP, which you going to encounter, which we will encounter today. These are the kind of websites or the protocols that are already existed, and some of the protocols you as a web developer or a developer in general have to follow. Okay, so the SMB protocol uses used in the most Windows printer access or remote service access. What does it mean? This mean that you can actually share a lot of files across across this SMB. Somehow if you hijack it, you can actually get that file. So this is kind of a understanding of that exploit or the vulnerability. These are actually vulnerabilities, okay, not kind of entirely exploit. But if we the exploit, basically the exploit term basically means that you can actually hack that particular system or service. So then it becomes a exploit. Okay, that vulnerability, when it exploited, means when it hacked, that how to hack is became the exploit. Okay, then the SNMP comes under managing IP devices. Basically, when you do a net discover, it is kind of similar to the SNMP. So like right here, I am opening open the Metasploit. So how can I detect the Metasploits? Metasploit is running on my Kali machine. To ensure it, I can type this particular command called sudo net discover, and it will going to detect my host systems. Right here you can see that this is my router, and this is my what it's called, the Metasploit machine. Okay, like if you go right here, so you can access the Metasploit 2, and this is basically about sorry, this actually done by the SNMP, or the simple network management protocol. It actually pretty the version was not secure. Okay, this is a MCQ kind of question. Then comes the SMTP, or basically the simple mail transfer protocol. These are the things I can actually going to build anyway. Okay, when I am doing the backend development, maybe after this Comptia Pentest Plus. After I completed this, I'm going to start my backend development. So when I'm doing backend development, I'm definitely going to build this type of things. So stay tuned for that. After that, there is the FTP, which we are going to encounter today. FTP means the file transfer protocol. Basically, when we are transferring a file, or basically, when you want to share files across websites, more of like a Google Drive. So this particular protocol comes handy, and this is actually the most important protocol. Okay, you have to remember. So let's come to the exploit demo. So first thing, I'm going to show you that how to access a FTP using FTP service using the anonymous login. You will always have to check it. Okay, you can check it by any means. Okay, you can do a nmap scan or something like that. It will going to tell you anyway. Okay, so how to do it? Basically, I'm going to do this using a script. I already talked about this kind of scripts tomorrow. So sorry, not tomorrow, maybe I made a video on it. You can actually watch it. That will be really important. If you don't watch it, or don't know anything about the nmap scripts, then it will going to not going to work for you, or maybe work for you if you just copy it, but you will not going to understand. Okay, so the thing is, you have to check it out, that if you nmap scan and hyphen use the script, and then call the vol scan. I already told you how to install it. So when you are doing this particular thing, this thing is actually a little new. Okay, I never told this before, which is the script args, which basically use for giving an argument, or selecting a particular script to work. Why using script args? Because you are not using default nmap scripts, you are using volscan. I already manually downloaded it, right? So in that volscan, there is a lot of files. Like if you go here, where is it? Maybe it's in user share, I guess. So if I just enter it and cross it, so then if I go to the /usr/shared /nmap, so here it would be scripts. In the scripts, there is volscan. So in that volscan, you can see there are a lot of already remaining scripts right here, or the CSV files. I'm going to use the exploit.db.csv. I already told about that. Exploit.db is really important. You have to encounter it anyway in your life. So that exploit.db.csv file has all the names which are actually comes under the exploitation part. Okay, so we can use this particular CSV file to get the already pre-hand exploits, which are actually written in the or the counted or saved in the exploit db, so we can use it. Okay, so that's why I'm using this. So how to do it? Basically, go to the same thing right here, and in the script arg, let's say that I'm going to you call it vol scan db, and it should be equal to exploit db dot csv and then I'm going to do a -a on 192.168.0.8. Let's just wait for a moment, and this will going to take a little bit of time because I'm using the world scan first. So yeah. Yeah, so we got it, and you can see a lot of things right here. Okay, don't watch anything, go to the top. Okay, go to the top. Right here you can see the port 21, which actually responsible for FTP service. Okay, so this port is actually using VSTPD 3.2.3.4. So one other thing you can notice here is that it has two exploit CSV files, two files that are actually remained or have any vulnerabilities, which are one thing is a backdoor command execution, and one another thing is a DOS attack, or denial of service vulnerability. Denial of service vulnerability basically means like if you have a lot of computers and you can attack or request it directly, so it will going to crash. The service will going to crash. So this is a denial of service attack basically. If you're really enthusiastic about hacking, you will always know about what is a denial of service attack. But we will going to do a backdoor command execution to actually get a shell on it. But what if sometimes this thing is actually going to work every time if you find a backdoor right here, or if you find a exploit right here. But what if that there is no exploit? Okay, what if there is no exploit, and but that FTP has anonymous shell open? So before everything, let's just check one other thing. It's a good practice, you can do it. Like type this particular command, and type your host name or the host IP, and then enter. And right here type this particular name, which is anonymous, and anonymous as a password. So right here you can see there is a 230 login successful, means the login is actually successful and we can actually access the FTP. So it has anonymous service open, already opened. Okay, so don't need a particular exploit. But if you write here dir or something like that, if I do a help, you can see a lot of services. If I hyphen al, so you can see it right here, it will giving us values. So one thing you can do, you can from here in, if you're doing a little bit of CTFs or something like that, you can have to get a particular file which is not here. Some of the files will be here if you are doing a which is called CTFs. So you can have to get that file, like if there is a file .txt or something like that. There is no file .txt, so don't have to worry. So this is the FTP service. But how can I get a shell to it? Okay, how can I get a shell or go into that system? So how to do it? Basically, for doing it, we know there is a we know the version, that FTP VSFTPD 2.3.4. so what we can do, we can go to Metasploit, turn up the Metasploit. If you don't know anything about Metasploit, just see this a little bit, and I'll going to make a video on it, or just search about Metasploit. It will going to help you a lot. Let's just minimize this so you can see it. So there is MSF6 logo, or MSF6 right here. So can I do a little clear? Yeah, I can do it. So after that, let's just search this VSTPD, the version. Okay, if you find a exploit right here, which is the same exploit I before talked about, or the nmap already talked about, the door command execution. Okay, same thing already said here in the Metasploit, because Metasploit also uses the exploit DB for its database structure. So in that MSF console, we can actually use this particular exploit. So type use, and then we can type show options. Then there are a lot of options, but the main option is r host. Okay, r host means, you can say, right, you have to see. Okay, there is no which is required the r host. R host means the target host. Okay, so we can set the target host or r host as 192.168.0.8, and we already set it. If you type the show options again, you will see right here the attacking system is already set to 192.168.0.8. You have to run it, and if you run it right here, you will find a shell. Okay, you find a shell. Let's just type ls, and yeah, you can see right here it's giving us inputs. Okay, giving us values. So it's already done. My Wi-Fi is not a little bit working, I guess, that's for sure. If it's working, I'm going to show you a little bit further. Okay, it's connected. Let's just see if it's working or not. Let's just go to the exploit DB website. No, it's not working. So you can see you got a shell. Okay, that's totally enough, but I'm going to show you a little bit more if my Wi-Fi was working, but was not working anyway, so doesn't matter right now. So let's just get it. You already get a shell, so this is enough. Okay, you can get a lot of things, like there is you can see there is root. Okay, you can go to the root system. Directly not possible, but yeah, you can see that you are in the root. Okay, so this is a lot. Okay, if you ask me, this is a lot. You can get to the root shell, you can go to any accessing this terminal, but this is one kind of thing too, or this is what we call the FTP exploit. So this is the FTP exploit demo. After that, there is called man in the middle attack. Man in the middle attack you will have to do in a theory based scenario. Man in the middle basically means if you have a client, you are the client, and if you have a server. Okay, then an attacker comes, and the attacker actually involves between them. And what happens in that process was that the response became through the attacker. Like, you, the client is sending the request to the attacker, and the attacker is sending that request to the server. And what the client is thinking, that the client is sharing information to the server, and the server is thinking that the server is sending request or response to the client, but it's not. It's sending a request to the attacker. So this is called the man in the middle attack. And man in the middle is just a concept. The attacks are really different, like what I told before in the DNS spoofing, which is also a man in the middle attack. Okay, this is the main image. Like, there is the original connection and the new connection in which there is a a fisher or whatever. The attacker can change a lot of values, so that's totally depends on the thing. Then comes the DNS caching, cache poisoning. Basically, it gets to your, if you get somehow the attacker gets the value of your cache memory, so it will going to encounter or change that cache memory to get the get his malicious malicious entry or something like that, a malicious website, so he can do it. If he able to change your cache using the DNS poisoning, so that's the matter. Okay, then what I already told you, the ARP spoofing is similar to the DNS spoofing. Okay, but it done using the MAC address, not the IP address. It's changed the MAC address of the local system. Okay, then comes the pass the hash, means attacker intercepts an NTLM hash or the user credentials and reuses it to appear as the authenticated user to Windows. Basically happens to when you are using a service, or if you are using a particular machine which actually works as that, it stores, the attacker store, get the, or steal the hash value of your user credential, so that is called the NTLM hash of the user credential, and then log into the system, so it pretends as you. Okay, that's is pass the hash. Then in a lot of man in the middle attacks are actually there, which is the replay, relay, SSL stripping or downgrade. I want to assure you to learn all of this by your own, that will be really helpful. Okay, then comes the man in the middle exploits, also come as the denial of service attack. This is also a kind of attack, but definitely not going to be similar to the man in the middle. I don't know why it's here, but yeah, it's kind of a thing similar, or have a network based attack. Okay, it's just sending a request, a lot of requests to a particular service or something like that. Then comes the VLAN attack, the NAC attack. VLAN attack is VLAN hopping is just a little bit of changing the VLAN services, or as long as connected to the proxy. It's just changing the virtual local area network, means changing it to a particular network you don't know about. It's changing your VPN services, or adding a VPN to your services. That's kind of an attack. So kind of this is it. Okay, this is entirely it. What is there, and now there is a lot of other stuff like the lab trainers work. My lab trainers is still not working, I don't know why, but yeah, if I able to work it anyway somehow, I'm definitely going to do this. Or otherwise, I'm already shown you a lot of things. You can understand basically a lot of things from that particular videos, or from the particular understanding. Okay, so basically this is it for today. If you like this video, just like it anyway. So this is it.